I think we do, and I think we have to recognize that if all governments were acting in a synchronized fashion, then perhaps the overall impact will also be more visible. At the moment, we still have very much locally driven initiatives, but there are many success stories. We can begin in Europe, where river basins that were virtually dead, ecologically speaking, have been restored. We can talk about protected areas, where most of the new protected areas in the world have been designated in the last decade by developing nations, in fact the overwhelming number of protected areas. We have examples from China to Cuba where deforestation has been arrested and there is actually an increase in forest cover in those countries. We have an example like Brazil, where just in the last 2 years the deforestation rate in the Amazon has been significantly reduced by a very deliberate action of the government involving many different ministries. We have also examples like California, where the issue of global warming and indeed greenhouse gas emissions has led to a state in the United States taking an initiative that is amongst the leading initiatives to combat global warming now in terms of removing greenhouse gases. The difficulty is that all of these initiatives are good pioneer initiatives, but they still have a pilot character. What we are faced with in the beginning of the 21st century is a quality of environmental change that is systemic. It requires a response that is no longer confined to local interventions. We can no longer deal with environmental change by saving one forest at a time or one wetland at a time. That is important, but it has to happen on a scale and with a pace that we simply have not yet achieved. And that explains why, despite all the initiatives, despite all the efforts that have been undertaken, and we should not diminish those in the last 20 years, we have not been able to turn the corner. And that is a very sobering message that GEO4 provides us.